A fan favorite returns. Galvanic Relay, my personal favorite card in all of Magic the Gathering, and today we're playing in Legacy the Epic Storm. Let's go check out today's donation deck list. In front of you is Legacy the Epic Storm with Galvanic Relay back at the helm. This is a donation deck from Matthew Story, who wanted to see a no Brainstorm, no Entomb, and no 5-color build. So that's what we're doing here today. If I was going to Eternal Weekend, I would actually play something like this. And I've been testing a lot of different lists, and I feel like every video I've uploaded recently, I'm like, this is really close to what I would play. That said, my opinion's changed a lot because of Marvel's Spider-Man and the card Spider-Punk in the sideboard. This card is so good. It allows you to beat Consigned Memory. It gets around Force of Negation. Against decks that play Blood Moon and Chalice of the Void for 0, this allows your spells to resolve through that Chalice of the Void. It does so much. It's really way more powerful than I ever imagined, allowing us to cut the white splash that we were trying for silence so we could go back to 4-color. And then once we went back to 4-color, the question becomes, do you want Brainstorm or do you want Thoughtseize in the main deck? And I've been testing Brainstorm. That said, in the Brainstorm list, I felt like 4 Veil of Summer and Galvanic Relay wasn't enough. It was close. So today, instead, we're trying 4 copies of Thoughtseize between the main deck and the sideboard. 3 in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. And I'm hoping that the Thoughtseizes do 2 things. 1, disrupt our opponent enough for us to win the game. 2, slow down the game for Galvanic Relay to be able to play the cards off of the Galvanic Relay. So what I found was sometimes you would relay and then you would die. And that's a problem that Thoughtseize can help fix. The other thing that it can fix is discarding Consigned Memory, or just if your opponent has a bunch of different forces, Galvanic Relay could reveal Beseech the Mirror, Lion's Eye Diamond, whatever, but if there's only 4 Veil of Summer in the deck, you might not find one. So having a higher density of protection really helps. And that's really what we've been doing. So you might be saying, why play blue at all? Well, I've tried lists that play 1 blue source, and it's fine. But when you're running into the Floodmaw on the sideboard to beat Karn the Great Creator or Leyline of the Void, you actually really want 2 blue sources. That's what I found personally. So that's what we're doing here today. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I would love to hear from you, and I'm sure Matthew's Story would as well. So thank you for watching. Keep watching, and I'll see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, we're on the play. Let's go. So earlier this morning, I recorded a 5-0 with Ruby Storm featuring Heroes Hangout. This is my 2nd league of the day. Let's see if we can, replicate that. This is a gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond into Echo of Aeons. I think we try this. Our opponent has a long history of playing Cradle Control. So if they are playing Cradle Control, we have Veil of Summer for Thoughtseize. And this way we can have a land drop on turn 2 and have open mana for our Echo. So I think I would like to just play our Surveil Land and pass here. So I normally don't record 2 videos in a day because I actually do a lot of back-end stuff. Ooh, so they're not on Cradle Control. Okay. And I do a lot of back-end stuff to my videos. Like I have edited subtitles that are honestly pretty darn good compared to a lot of other creators and stuff like that. And it takes time. But that said, I have the Lego Death Star arriving at my house tomorrow, and I'm trying to record as much as I can before I build that with my wife. So trying to get stuff done before, a 9,000 piece Lego set arrives. We'll grab Lion's Eye Diamond straight to the graveyard. Lovely. Okay, we'll try that again. We'll grab Badlands this time and gamble. Okay, 2nd chance. This time it does the thing correctly. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. And now we'll spin the wheel. Alright, Storm 4. Unfortunate. We will pass the turn. So you might be saying, why not play out your artifacts? They're likely a Chalice of the Void deck, I understand. but we have Badlands and Commercial District in play, which means we have 2 mountains, and we have Burning Wish into Pulverize. So that is what I'm considering here. And a Chalice of the Void on 1. Yep. Thoughtseize. We'll play the Underground Sea. And Burning Wish. Yes. And we'll grab the Pulverize. So there's a risk here. I could cast the Pulverize right now, and then Thoughtseize, so that way if they have a Thought-Knot Seer, I'm not punished. Or if I wait a turn, I have Pulverize into Beseech the Mirror for Song of Creation. But if I Pulverize right now, I don't get to do that. I could also Thoughtseize myself and discard the Echo, which might be the move, because then I don't even care about Thought-Knot Seer. Okay, I've talked myself into it. We'll Pulverize. Play Chrome Mox and Print Beseech the Mirror. I probably should have played the Verdant Catacombs if I had thought this through a little bit more instead of playing the Underground Sea. Pass the turn. So the downside of this play is Kozilek's Command. Can't beat everything. So Kozilek's Command versus Thought-Knot Seer, they're both 4-ofs. They play a Lotus Petal. They sacrifice the Lotus Petal. Wastegate Battle Mage. Okay. That's a little annoying. It that heralds the end. We'll draw for turn. The Lotus Petal. So that does allow me to cast this Echo of Aeons. We'll grab the Taiga. And let's flashback Echo of Aeons with a Mox Opal in play. Storm 2. Brutal. We have to pass. They play a Glaring Fleshraker floating 1. Lotus Petal. I've had a lot of opportunities to win this, so I can't be upset. The reality is that if I wanted to win, maybe I should have drawn better, you know? Just the nature of it. I'm at 11. They've Chalice of the Void for 0. Yep. Cavern of Souls. Another Eldrazi Repurposer. Okay. Puts me to 8. They have 5 damage in play. I mean, I can't win anyway. This looks like a really big Kozilek's Command, and that'll do it. Okay, so we lose game number 1. I mean, I had a couple opportunities to win. I didn't do it, so oh well. We'll go to the next game. We'll bring it into the Flood Maws. Visage Who Endures an Abrupt Decay. We'll take out Galvanic Relay. And I do like Empty the Warrens in this matchup. Probably cut the Runehorn Hellkite. Don't need Veil of Summers. So maybe we bring back in the Relays? Yeah, let's bring back in Galvanic Relay. Let's try this. On the draw, I think I'd probably want Galvanic Relay, but... Or on the play, on the draw I would want Veil of Summer. On the play I want Galvanic Relay. There we go. Alright, this is not good enough. We will mulligan. So if I bottom the land, this is a turn 1 Galvanic Relay for 4. I don't know if that's good enough. We'll try it, I guess. Underground Sea on the bottom. We'll play Chrome Mox, Imprint Beseech the Mirror. Chrome Mox, Imprint Echo of Aeons. Play the Mox Opal. And Galvanic Relay for 4. Chrome Mox, Galvanic Relay, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond. So Chalice of the Void just destroys me here. Okay, we'll see what they kept in their 5-card hand. They play a Lotus Petal. Now Chalice of the Void for 0, obviously. Yep. So I get to Galvanic Relay for 4 again. They play Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi and they pass. Song of Creation. We'll play Lotus Petal. Chalice of the Void counters all of my artifacts. Play the Chrome Mox. And we'll Galvanic Relay for 4 again. Taiga, Beseech the Mirror, Tendrils of Agony, Gamble. So next turn I can play Song of Creation, pass. They play a Secluded Courtyard. Eldrazi Linebreaker. Okay. They have 2 cards in their hand. Dark Ritual. Does that change anything? I don't think so. I just want to think through this. So I could Dark Ritual, Beseech the Mirror, Beseech the Mirror, Beseech the Mirror, Empty the Warrens. I could even throw a Gamble in there too. So does, like, at this point when they already have an Eldrazi Linebreaker in play, is it worth trying to empty? Like, is the Song of Creation line any better? We would lose to a Wastegate Battle Mage, and I'd have to draw a spell that would trigger it. So is Empty the Warrens better here? We'll play the Taiga, cast Dark Ritual. I guess we'll gamble? Because I guess I can't, if I take this line, I can't Song of Creation next turn. So I guess I could, if I put Thoughtseize in the middle, I could Thoughtseize and try to discard one of their cards, which might be good enough. It would put me to 14. Yeah, let's put Thoughtseize in the middle. And we won the flip. I'll play Thoughtseize. Take the other Eldrazi Linebreaker. That would have been very bad for me. And now we'll Beseech Dimir. Sacrifice Mox Opal. Oh, I guess I only have one other Beseech Dimir. So I miscounted. We'll sacrifice the Black Chrome Mox, because if I draw into the Flood Maw, I'm going to want to be able to cast it. And now we'll grab Empty the Warrens for 12. I was thinking that if we won the flip, we'd have 14 goblins. I forgot that I imprinted a Beseech Dimir. Even though it was on the board, I just forgot about it. They played the Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, and they drew the Wastegate Battle Mage. So if I had played Song of Creation Pass, my fear would have come true. Okay, and now they swing. We'll just throw 3 goblins in front here. And then I'll attack for 9, they'll block and take 8. And I actually would have drawn into the Flood Maw. That's pretty funny. Okay, so my intuition this round is pretty far spot on, but now I don't have a blue source because of the Wastegate Battle Mage. They drew a land. So now I'll attack for 8 and they'll take 7. Burning Wish I cannot play here. Swing. So they take 7 down to 5. Even if they draw a blocker here, that's still lethal. And now we have to win game number 3 on the draw. Okay. So Veil of Summer comes in on the draw to help beat Chalice of the Void. Sideboard out the Galvanic Relays. Alright, submit. Game number 3 on the draw. I think we try this. We have the Into the Flood Maw. I could really use like a Dark Ritual or something, but I think this hand is fine enough. They kept 7, which is terrifying. They begin with Once Upon a Time, and they select a Glaring Fleshraker, Eldrazi Temple, Lotus Petal. So they can play the Glaring Fleshraker into Chalice of the Void for 0. Another Lotus Petal. Okay. Into Null Rod. Wow, what a hand. 2 cards remain. We drew another Chrome Mox. That's not great. So we'll pass the turn. So this is looking like it could be an Empty the Warrens game. There's no reason for me to bounce the Null Rod on the end step because I would have to draw exactly Dark Ritual in order for that to pay off. Wow. Okay, so I think now I'm on the draw Burning Wish for Pulverize plan. I'll take 2, I go to 15. Veil of Summer doesn't help versus Chalice of the Void. I could have brought in Spider-Punk, but if they kill the Spider-Punk with like a Kozilek's Command, you feel very foolish. We'll grab Commercial District because it's a mountain. If that helps dig for the Burning Wish, because Burning Wish and a Pulverize is our answer here. A Dark Ritual that doesn't help me. Yeah, we have to get rid of the Dark Ritual. I suppose I could draw Abrupt Decay or the Beseiju Who Endures, and then my Into the Flood Maw can answer the Null Rod. Disruptor Flute. Okay. They have no hand now. And they name Burning Wish. We'll play Verdant Catacombs and pass. So another thing that we could do is just Beseech the Mirror. If I draw another land, I can just play a bunch of artifacts, Beseech the Mirror a bunch, and then Empty the Warrens. So I need one more land. I'm at 11. What are you thinking about? Is this a Kozilek's Command for 4? Another Chalice of the Void? Chalice of the Void for 2. Okay. You got it. We'll fetch down to 9 life. They're at 16. So if we manage to get to the cast Beseech the Mirror point, I think we have enough Storm to just Tendrils of Agony them and not Empty the Warrens. Get rid of the gamble. Can't cast it with the Chalice of the Void for 1 in play anyway. Tendrils was not a good draw. It was not a good draw at all. One of the worst we could have drawn into. So now I think we would have to Empty the Warrens. So they'll attack for 2, I'll go to 7. We should not fetch because I need to draw a land, and I don't want to thin. They play an Ivugan. They're 1 mana short of activating, 2 mana short. Okay. So this gets Underground Sea Badlands. I can Empty the Warrens for a bunch. And I have to hope that Empty the Warrens is good enough. We'll grab Underground Sea. And then on the following turn, I could try to Tendrils of Agony, just to gain a life or 2. We'll play Lotus Petal. Chrome Mox. No imprint. Chrome Mox. No imprint. You might be saying, why not Song of Creation? Because I could have, like, Beseech the Mirror plus Song of Creation and drawn 6. What are you going to do with those, like, 6 cards in your hand versus Null Rod, Chalice 1, Null Rod, Chalice 1, Chalice 2? It just doesn't make any sense. So now we will beseech the Mirror Storm 5 with Bargain. Maybe we'll get lucky and our opponent will concede. Beseech the Mirror, Storm 6. Beseech the Mirror, Storm 7. They're not going to concede. We will empty the Warrens for 16 Goblins. Unfortunately, we drew the Tendrils. That would be a match win. We need our opponent to draw something bad. Like another Disruptor Flute. They pass. We drew a Dark Ritual we cannot play. We will go to combat. I'll swing for 12, leaving 4 back. Okay, damage. Kozilek's Command kills me here if they have it. It's a Disruptor Flute, okay. So that increases my Storm. It's countered by Chalice of the Void. They're at 7. So if I had known that they were going to play a spell in the middle of combat, I should have swung out. Because this would be exactly lethal, but there's no way of me knowing that. And our opponent just concedes. What a match. We just beat Null Rod, Disruptor Flute, Chalice 1, Chalice 2, and a theoretical second Disruptor Flute that was countered by their own Chalice of the Void. That was a sweet one. Let's see if we can, have another great match in the second round. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the draw, and we're facing someone who plays a lot of Jeskai control, but also Dimir tempo. So we have Echo of Aeons, we have Veil of Summer, which is great. Burning Wish could grab like a Thoughtseize or maybe Galvanic Relay. My concern here is no Lion's Eye Diamond, and these Burning Wishes feeling like mulligans. The Chrome Mox isn't a great mana source either. I think this hand is actually a trap. I'm going to send it back. This is better. We'll keep bottom the Burning Wish. So here we have Echo of Aeons and Veil of Summer. We have multiple lanes to play around Daze, and then we have Gamble to go find the Lion's Eye Diamond. Nile Spellbomb, so this is Dimir tempo. Another Gamble. We'll just play the Commercial District. Put the Verdant Catacombs to the graveyard and we'll pass. They play a Scalding Tarn, and now they fetch. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. That's tough. Okay. We will likely lose the Veil of Summer here. Or they could take the Echo and then use the Nile Spellbomb, but I don't see that happening. They do take the Veil of Summer. Galvanic Relay. We'll just play the Verdant Catacombs and pass. They play land number 3 and Ponder. They did not shuffle with the Ponder. End step will fetch, and I think we want to grab the Undercity Sewers. Surveil. Keep the Lotus Petal. Play the Badlands. We'll play the Lotus Petal. So the question is, what else are you going to do? You could gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond and hope to discard the other gamble. You could gamble for another Galvanic Relay, and then that way you can't discard Galvanic Relay just to increase Storm. I'm not really sure. Like, I think best case scenario, you discard Gamble. It's just, is that enough here? I think we'll do, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to grab another Galvanic Relay. We discard one of them. Who knows which? And then we'll Galvanic Relay for 3. We reveal Bloodstained Mire, Beseech the Mirror. And they're going to use the Nile Spellbomb. Interesting. Weird time to use it, but I won't argue. The Nile Spellbomb has resolved, and then the third Galvanic Relay card is apparently Runehorn Hellkite. So we revealed Bloodstained Mire, Beseech the Mirror, Runehorn Hellkite. That was bad. That was very bad. Sometimes it be like that. They have 6 cards in hand now, and they're going to just pass. We draw a Mox Opal. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire, Mox Opal, fetch, and I think we have to grab the Underground Sea if we want to cast this Beseech the Mirror. Alright, Mox Opal. We'll bargain away the Mox Opal. If this resolves, I can't help but wonder if you're supposed to grab the final copy of Galvanic Relay instead of letting them like Daze a Song of Creation. They use Orcish Bowmasters, sure. Beseech the Mirror, and they Daze the Beseech. Okay. We will pass. They play the Underground Sea again, and it looks like now they have a Kaito, sure. I'm at 13. Our draw just never really came together this game. They put 2 cards on top. Not particularly good. So there is a path to winning here. It's just pretty unlikely. So we can go Dark Ritual, gamble for Veil of Summer, and then hope to discard the Echo. That is how you would beat a Force of Will in this spot. Alright, let's get lucky. Nope. Alright, concede. Go to the second game. We want the Abrupt Decay, and the Viseju who endures, and the Spider Punks. So in the Brainstorm list, you would board out for Brainstorm here. I don't know what you board out. So here it's probably 1 Mox Opal, 1 Chrome Mox, and then you have 2 more cuts. I genuinely do not know. You could maybe board out 1 land because you're bringing in a Viseju, but you just boarded out 2 Moxen. So this does not map well, I have to say, because like I don't actually want to cut anything from my deck. We'll cut a Bloodstained Mire, but I don't think that this is right. Like, I just don't know what else you're supposed to sideboard out. And maybe a gamble. This seems really odd. We'll try it. Maybe it's okay, but it feels weird to me. Game number 2 on the play. Cannot keep that. Nope. I mean, I want to keep. It's just like, is this even good? You can bottom the Relay, imprint the Abrupt Decay Thoughtseize, play out your hand and hope to spike a gamble or an echo. I think we'll go to 5. Okay. So here you're just praying your opponent didn't keep a force in their hand, even though they're like 60% to have one. Okay. So we're going to play for the upside here, which is that you get to resolve Echo. So you could have kept a fetch land instead of the Lotus Petal. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. Hopefully they Force of Will this. They did not. We'll play another Lion's Eye Diamond. And another Lion's Eye Diamond. And we'll just Echo of Aeons. I'm only going to use the 1 diamond because I feel like this is probably going to get countered. And then we'll still have resources to Echo again, assuming we can draw a gamble or an Echo. And they do have Force of Negation. Mathematically speaking, you know, they should. Like, they're like 60% to have it. So, this way, if I draw another Echo or a gamble, we're still in the game. You could also draw Runehorn Hellkite, which would be great. They play Underground Sea into a Nethergoyf. They have 4 cards in their hand. Draw for turn. Guy's Will. Not a good one. They play Polluted Delta. And now they fetch. Ouch. I'm at 18. We drew the gamble. Let's play it. Do you grab Echo or do you grab a Runehorn Hellkite? I think it's Echo. If they have double force, they have double force. That's my opinion. We'll do blue. And I think red. Because we have a bunch of relays in our deck. Am I being silly? No, I think it's blue-black. And because we're not playing Brainstorm, I will use 3 blue mana. They flash in Orcish Bowmasters. You got it. Okay, Storm's 3. Echo of Aeons back on the stack. That is not enough to win here. That's +6, so I could put them to 1. So if I could get them to Force of Will something, we would win. We need to get them to Daze or Force of Will or do something. We'll start with the Undercity Sewers, which seems innocent here, but it tells my opponent I've already made a land drop. So maybe they're more likely to Force of Will a Dark Ritual or a Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Dark Ritual. I'm trying to get them really hard here to force something. So we'll play Mox Opal, play Chrome Mox. Maybe they'll force this Lion's Eye Diamond if I sequence poorly. Diamond. I'm doing this so that way they're incentivized to force. They did not. So maybe they just don't have one. Could not get them to bite on anything. So this puts them to 1. I was 1 storm short. Unfortunate. So assuming that they do end up going to 1, it would shut off fetch lands, but it would also shut off Force of Will. The downside is I pretty much have to draw exactly Echo of Aeons or, you know, gamble for another Echo, something along those lines, because I've used up everything. And now the final copy of Tendrils of Agony, and they Force of Will exiling Daze. I just could not get them to counter a Dark Ritual or a Diamond that would have killed them. So they have 10 power on the board, so I have 2 turns to draw into something. They ponder. They did not shuffle. They drew a Wasteland. Okay. We have 1 Echo of Aeons in my deck. It is by far my best draw here. because that would be a draw that would allow me to beat a daze. Draw for turn. That's certainly not it. I can't even cast it because I'd be dead if I did. They have 12 damage on the board, so just playing Thoughtseize there doesn't make any sense. They play an island. I think I'm actually dead to a Kaito here, because they could bounce the Bowmasters and then deal lethal with the Kaito. Yep. We drew Taiga. Not good enough. I guess we can kill ourselves with Thoughtseize. See what our opponent had, if it even lets me. They had Consigned to Memory. They missed lethal with the Kaito. They had it. Okay. So we lose, and we are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we're on the play. Our opponent plays a lot of Beanstalk control, so that's what I'm going to guess they're on today. This is okay enough. We'll keep. Play the Undercity Sewers. Galvanic Relay is a good one. We'll keep that. Pass the turn. They play a Flooded Strand. Let's try Dark Ritual. So my game plan here is to get them to Force of Will, a Burning Wish, and then Galvanic Relay. We'll play Chrome Mox. Imprint Gamble. Play a Mox Opal. And let's try Burning Wish. 2 black mana floating. They fetch with the Flooded Strand for a Tundra. Okay. And they Brainstorm in response. I love that. That's more cards for my Galvanic Relay. Also means no Stifles. Burning Wish is back on the stack. And they Force of Will, exiling a Lorien Revealed. Sure. We will now fetch with the Bloodstained Mire. We'll grab Taiga. Galvanic Relay for 7. So these are the draws where Relay ends up being very good. It did not look good earlier, but I've had a lot of success playing off screen and doing tutoring sessions with Galvanic Relay, which is why I've been playing Brainstorm plus Galvanic Relay or Galvanic Relay plus Thoughtseize. I think the Epic Storm is best when Galvanic Relay is in the deck. So I think right now we're sort of struggling with how to build around it still with the appropriate number of protection. Brainstorm is nice because it creates Storm. And then, you know, obviously, like, you cast it, it makes a storm. You draw 3, you can change the context of your hand, get another storm or 2 out of it, and then you relay. And then you can put a card on top of your deck with the Brainstorm that you want to relay into, like a Beseech the Mirror. And then that allows you to use Lion's Eye Diamond to cast the Beseech the Mirror. Like, it does a lot of things really nicely. But the problem with Brainstorm in the deck is that just 4 Veil of Summer doesn't feel like enough versus a lot of the format. All right, we drew a gamble. Let's begin with Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's cast a Veil of Summer. That resolved. Interesting. We'll play Underground Sea. Let's gamble. We'll go grab another Echo. I'd rather just play the Echo off of Gamble than the one from Exile. I know I could hardcast the Echo from Exile. I get it, trust me. But I think I'd just rather have... Whoa, no, I clicked the wrong one! Ah, I'm an idiot. I'm too busy talking and then I did the wrong thing. Ah. Okay. I guess we have an Echo in the graveyard no matter what. Alright, so Bryant, shut your mouth. Just play tight. Ah, that was dumb. We'll play a Mox Opal. I think we're still going to win, but that was terrible. Okay. They're at 17. I can just Veil of Summer here for Storm. And then Beseech the Mirror into Tendrils. That was so stupid. It was much safer to play the Echo from Graveyard. Like, I'm glad it worked, but I should have clicked on the one in the Graveyard instead of running my mouth and just misclicking. Yeah, you can't take me anywhere. Galvanic Relay, though. Powerful card. Sweet. So we probably want the Abrupt Decay and the Spider Punks. And then you're probably just doing the Skim method again, where it's 1 Gamble, 1 Mox Opal, 1 Chrome Mox, and 1 Bloodstained Mire. Because I don't think you're actually allowed to cut anything out. So we'll submit this. Game number 2 on the draw. We've opened up, you know, a solid hand. I wouldn't say it's the best thing ever, but we do have 3 lands versus a blue deck. Leyline of the Guild Pact, okay. And now we can, you know, surveil a few times, Deafening Silence. What? That should be illegal. Alright, we're now looking for Abrupt Decay or the Beseiju Who Endures. We'll play Burning Catacombs and pass. Thoughtseize. Yeah, strong opener. I think the pick here is Lion's Eye Diamond, but let's see what they do. They take Beseech the Mirror. I don't think I agree with that one, but that's okay. We'll grab a Commercial District and Surveil. Get rid of that Lotus Petal. It's a Spider Punk. Maybe we'll just go the distance with attacking. Spider Punk. They have 4 cards in their hand. They're going to Force of Will Spider Punk. Okay. Exiling another Force of Will. The Fear. The Fear! They now have 3 cards in their hand. They play a Volcanic Island. And up the Beanstalk. Okay. I would like to gamble. And we'll grab Abrupt Decay. Discards Galvanic Relay. And I cannot cast the Abrupt Decay right now. But the one upside of grabbing Abrupt Decay here over the Seiju is I won't be giving them a 3rd land. They play another Up the Beanstalk. Sure. I think I'm supposed to respond now in case they have a Veil of Summer. That they don't have green open. So we'll grab Taiga. And we'll kill the Deafening Silence. Okay, so they still have 3 cards in their hand. Gamble. Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. I mean, I could just Runehorn Hellkite here. Let's gamble. So if I get the diamond, or I'm sorry, if I get the Hellkite and I discard the Hellkite, I could still relay for 4. Alright, I'm grabbing the Runehorn Hellkite. It goes to the graveyard. And I'll Galvanic Relay for 4. That actually worked out pretty well. We reveal Lotus Petal, Echo of Aeons, Lotus Petal, and Thoughtseize. We will pass the turn. So if, excuse me, if they destroy my Lion's Eye Diamond somehow, next turn I do not have enough mana to use the Runehorn Hellkite or cast the Echo of Aeons. They have a Leyline Binding. I guess I'll add 3 blue. This Leyline Binding draws them 2 cards here. And then they play a Ponder. They play an island, 4 cards left, and another Ponder. I need some mana. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. Well, that is mana. Let's play Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Let's see if they let the Dark Ritual resolve. I hope so. And then I can Dragon. Runehorn Hellkite. They did not have any interaction in their hand. They did have a Rest in Peace, though. So we can play a Thoughtseize here. And then assuming they don't have anything, I can Galvanic Relay from the sideboard. We'll play Thoughtseize. And that is not anything. We'll take the Brainstorm. We're 1 mana short of being able to create lethal here. Mox Opal. Tap the Mox Opal. Sacrifice the Lotus Petal. Cast the Burning Wish holding priority. We'll add 3 red mana to our mana pool. Yes. Grab the Galvanic Relay. And this is just one of those matches where Relay is really flexing. But as you saw versus Dimir Tempo, we were never able to get it going and we kind of just got steamrolled. That looks like a pretty good 8 cards to me. Pass the turn. They play Flooded Strand for a basic Plains. They cast up the Beanstalk. So now a Leyline Binding would draw them 3 cards. And there's the excuse me. And there's the Leyline Binding, which draws 3. It exiles my Mox Opal. And they go to cleanup. Okay, our time to shine. Let's begin with a Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play another Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's attempt a Veil of Summer from hand. Because if they try to counter this, I can sacrifice one of these Lion's Eye Diamond and make 3 green. Alright, so that just resolves. How many Echo of Aeons do we still have? It looks like still 2. I mean, I could just try to Song of Creation here. That might be better. Blue, green. Play Song of Creation. Red, and we'll use one of the blue. Let's cast Dark Ritual. Trigger the song. Oh, I forgot about the other Up the Beanstalk, or up the other Leyline Binding. I'm so dumb. So we'll try Veil of Summer here. I don't know what I was thinking. No excuse, really. We'll try... Well, let's see if this resolves. I guess it does. 1 Veil of Summer's already resolved. We should play the other Veil of Summer. This draws 2. I don't know why I did this. Like, I knew that they had double Leyline Binding. Is there something wrong with me? We luckily drew the Tendrils, so we're going to win this, but I don't deserve to. I really don't deserve to win this. I played this match so poorly. Dark Ritual. I guess it goes to show you that Galvanic Relay is such a powerful card. Oh, this has protection from the Leyline Binding. I accidentally did something well. But like it just goes to show you that Galvanic Relay is such a broken card that you can play like doo-doo like I did and still win. Full Thoughtseize, just to make sure there's no like Mind Break Trap. I guess they're playing double Deafening Silence. And they still lose to someone that doesn't know how to sequence their cards. I'm sorry, opponent, you didn't deserve this. Okay. Galvanic Relay, good. Bryant Cook, bad. We're now 2-1. The Gold Sabertooth times the Epic Storm collection has arrived with 3 full-size tokens showcasing the beloved Dark Ritual, CDH Rogsai, and Legacy of the Epic Storm for just $5. On the backs of these tokens, there's a place for my signature or a custom message. In addition to these sweet tokens, a friendly reminder that all orders that ship from theepicstorm.com also come with a signed Storm token from yours truly. Round number 4, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. Our opponent has one result, and it's with Dimir Tempo. So I have to imagine that's what they're playing here today. We have a hand where the game plan is to gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond and then uncounterable Runehorn Hellkite activation. We'll see if that happens. I don't know, but that's at least what I'm thinking of here. They have a turn 1 Shuko, so Cephalid Breakfast is the deck they're playing. I think we are going to pivot and Thoughtseize. Hopefully they don't have one of their dazes. They do play like 2 to 3 days. And they actually had the turn 2 win. We'll take this Cephalid Illusionist. Pass the turn. So Thoughtseize looking pretty good over Brainstorm in that spot. They play the Flooded Strand. And now they Ponder. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. Galvanic Relay. We'll play Gamble. Grab a Lion's Eye Diamond. Chromox goes to the graveyard. So I theoretically have access to Runehorn Hellkite now. But, I mean, they could just Force of Will the Dark Ritual. Or Force of Will this. They fetch in response. They search out a Tundra. And they Brainstorm. Lion's Eye Diamond. They Force of Will exiling the Nadu. Okay. Our mana not allowing me to Veil of Summer there. They play Misty Rainforest. 2 cards in their hand. They fetch. They have another Nadu. Okay. So they're guaranteed at least 2 triggers here. They reveal Narcomoeba to the Nadu. And then a Savannah. Okay, need another Lion's Eye Diamond. Desperately. Draw. Another Dark Ritual does not do it. So I think we'll Dark Ritual Galvanic Relay for 2. It's not a sexy move by any means, and these are sort of the spots where Relay looks bad. Like if this game in particular, like Thoughtseize looked really good, but would Brainstorm have been better than Relay? Maybe, but we've also had games where Relay flat out wins. Veil of Summer, Beseech the Mirror. So unless I draw like an artifact and they fizzle, that doesn't really help. So next turn, they draw for turn. They get 2 triggers off of Nadu, and then they get 2 triggers off of the Narcomoeba they revealed. That's a Nomad, so that's 2 more triggers. There's a Saga. Now they play a Nomads in Core, Misty Rainforest, and another Nadu. Now they play Ponder. They did not shuffle with the Ponder. Sure, they swing. And weirdly, they're going to pass here. They could have played another Nadu and triggered more. I'm not exactly sure why they did that. What does a winning game look like here? So I could go Dark Ritual. Yeah, I mean, I could put Beseech on the stack, but it wouldn't be protected. Because I could go like Dark Ritual Gamble for Chromox, Beseech the Mirror. And that could put that could put Geiswell on the stack, which would be lethal. But there's not another line that actually you can do protected here. You could gamble for Lion's Eye Diamond, but then if you discard Dark Ritual or Diamond or Dragon, like you'd have to discard exactly Veil, and for them to not counter your Dark Ritual, which seems unlikely. So we'll play the Dark Ritual and hope that they try to counterspell, so that way we can Veil of Summer, I guess. They daze, we'll play the Veil of Summer. And we drew an Echo, that doesn't help. Alright, I'm going to concede. We can just go to the next game. Our deck did not help us much there. I like the Spider Punks. I'm not interested in Besage or Abrupt Decay. We'll do 1 Mox Opal, 1 Gamble. Actually, no, I like the gambles in this matchup. I'll board out 1 Galvanic Relay. Game number 2, we're on the play. Good hand. We'll try it. We'll play Verdant Catacombs and fetch. Let's grab Badlands, I guess. Thoughtseize. If I take the Brainstorm, I can beat Consign to Memory next turn. Yeah, we'll just leave them with Consign to Memory. They play Flooded Strand, Burning Wish. So if I go Lotus Petal Chrome Mox, pretty sure I can play the Thoughtseize in the middle. So we'll play the Mox Opal. I'm sorry, the Lotus Petal. And then we'll play Chrome Mox and print the Burning Wish. They're going to fetch in response. Okay. Tropical Island. They can sign to memory the Chrome Mox. That's fine. So if I go Dark Ritual Beseech, I have to sack the Petal. And then I can imprint the Chrome Mox on the way back, and that does it. So as long as they didn't draw a card that stops me here, we're okay. Beseech the Mirror, bargain the Lotus Petal. We'll grab Gaia's Will. And this is another game where Thoughtseize look great. I really like the Thoughtseizes. But it's just like, how do you make Galvanic Relay consistent enough? Like, I still miss Brainstorm a little bit. Like, I kind of want, like, Brainstorm, Thoughtseize, and Galvanic Relay, which there's just not enough deck slots for. So that's the concern there. And now we'll Beseech the Mirror with Bargain. Like, I think the deck list is getting closer. It's just, the metagame is very hostile right now, and I just feel like 4 Veil of Summer is not enough. Target you. Sweet. Alright, so we win game number 2. I mean, it worked last game. Let's send it back. Game 3 on the draw. Our opponent is taking a mulligan. I'm going to try this. Dark Ritual would be an ideal card off the top. I would also take a Thoughtseize, something along those lines. Cavern of Souls, not the ideal land opening for this deck. They name Wizard. Ghost Vacuum. Okay. They have 3 cards in their hand. We'll play Commercial District, Spider-Punk, keep, and we'll pass. There's a Saga. So they could play a Cephalid Illusionist here. And then the Saga would downtick in a couple turns for the Shuko. We'll play the Underground Sea, play Chrome Mox. I think we have to imprint the Gamble if we want to protect the Spider-Punk. It's a Spider-Punk. They could Force of Will. And it looks like they're going to. Exiling Force of Negation, I'll Veil of Summer. We drew another Gamble. Spider-Punk resolves. We'll give it a +1/+1 counter. Pass the turn. They have 1 card in their hand. They use the Ghost Vacuum. Urza Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. And they just pass. Okay. A 3rd Beseech the Mirror. So I'm going to play my Lotus Petal here. And then we'll gamble for Dark Ritual. I mean, I don't know what else to do. Dark Ritual. Okay, so we can Beseech the Mirror and then put Song of Creation in a play and pass. Dark Ritual. I suppose I could try to Gaia's Will, but there's a Ghost Vacuum, so I don't think that's a good idea either. We'll sacrifice the Chrome Mox. I think I'd prefer to keep the Lotus Petal, because it keeps my colors open for a Song of Creation turn. So I just want to think through this for a second. So if I grabbed a Gaia's Will here, I floated black with the Lotus Petal, and then they exile the Dark Ritual to Ghost Vacuum. I could then replay Lotus Petal, replay Chrome Mox. I'd have 3 mana. 3 mana is not enough. I could Galvanic Relay for 5. Is that better than Song of Creation? It might be. Because if I drew a land... You know what? I think I like the Galvanic Relay line. We reveal Lotus Petal, Burning Wish, Lion's Eye Diamond, Undercity Sewers. They Ghost Vacuum on the Dark Ritual, that's fine. And a Bloodstained Mire. Alright, swing for 3. You go to 16. Please do not kill me. So their Saga goes to the 3rd chapter. They can float a colorless here. So they can grab a Shuko. If they drew Cephalid Illusionist, I'm dead. If they have a Nadu, they could draw some cards and try to get back into it. But I think if they had an Illusionist, they could have played it last turn. So it would have had to have been their draw step. They grab a Needle. I mean, I guess it means I'm not dead. What do you even name here? Bloodstained Mire? Like, Runorn Hellkite? Lion's Eye Diamond does not work. Lion's Eye Diamond is a mana ability. They drew a blue land. So now they Brainstorm. And now they play a Shuko. Alright, time to try to win. We draw Verdant Catacombs. A pause in my draw step. I mean, I guess you could Surgical Extraction Beseech the Mirror. We'll swing. They go to 13. We'll play Verdant Catacombs. We'll fetch. I go to 19. So you don't want to play the Bloodstained Mire from exile. And it seems like a subtle thing, and it really is, but what if at some point you have to Echo of Aeons this game, and now you're shuffling an extra land back in? I don't want that. So now we'll play the Lion's Eye Diamond. Storm is 2. So if I Beseech the Mirror and grab a Lion's Eye Diamond, I don't have to bargain. And that would be Storm 3, 4. Burning Wish would be 5. Tendrils of Agony would be 6. It's 1 short. I could Beseech Dimir for Song of Creation, and then use the diamond mana to cast Burning Wish. Maybe I should have thought this through before playing out all my artifacts. What is the play? I mean, I could Echo of Eons, I suppose. So Burning Wish, and then Echo with 3 open mana? Is that better than Song of Creation plus Trigger? I think I'm going to Song of Creation. We will bargain away the Lotus Petal. Grab the Song of Creation. We'll play it. Play the Bloodstained Mire, and we'll go fetch the Taiga. And I think I'm supposed to crack the Lion's Eye Diamond for black mana, because I have Dark Rituals and Thoughtseizes in the deck. But if I guess the wrong color, we probably lose. I also have 6 red cards between Burning Wish, Gamble, and the other Spider-Punk. So I guess, okay, I'm going to do it for black, because I can get Thoughtseize, and that's another trigger. So we'll play the Burning Wish. Trigger Song. I could also Pulverize. Ooh. I think I like the Pulverize. We'll grab Pulverize, cast it, sacrificing 2 mountains. I'll get rid of Taiga, Badlands. This is another trigger. We'll auto-yield at this point. I don't know how many times in my life I've cast Pulverize versus Cephalid Breakfast. This might be the first time. Spider-Punk doing work, not having to care about whatever's in their hand. We'll play Lotus Petal, play Lion's Eye Diamond, and I'm pretty sure we have it at this point. We just have to keep on casting spells. Mox Opal, play Dark Ritual, 2 copies of Echo of Aeons. We'll play a Lion's Eye Diamond. Just waiting for another Burning Wish or the one of Tendrils. Dark Ritual. We'll tap a Mox Opal for a red and play another. Storm 14. We'll keep the new one. Play a Chrome Mox. There's a Burning Wish. We'll imprint Galvanic Relay. Our opponent says GG's opponent. Nice. We beat Cephalid Breakfast again. It's like 3 TES videos in a row we've defeated Cephalid Breakfast. How about that? Alright, so we're 3-1. Let's see if maybe we can win match number 5. The best Legacy podcast? That would be Eternal Glory featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Cook and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. The final match. We're on the draw. Our opponent has no Goldfish history, but I faced them last week and they were playing Doomsday. I'm going to guess that they're still playing Doomsday. And we've opened up a hand where we can't Echo of Aeons. The double Chrome Mox is basically like a mulligan. Burning Wish would have to be cast off Lotus Petal. I think we should send this one back. This is much better. We'll keep and get rid of Song of Creation. Our opponent plays Undercity Sewers. And they kept a card on top. 6 cards in their hand. Chrome Mox is the draw. We'll play Lotus Petal. And let's attempt a Dark Ritual. We'll play Lotus Petal. We'll try a Burning Wish for Galvanic Relay. Storm is 4. That resolves. We'll grab the Galvanic Relay. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. And so the reason you don't play out all of your cards and then Burning Wish is I'm trying to make it look innocent. If you play out all of your cards and then Burning Wish, they're just going to force will your Burning Wish. So by holding a couple cards, you're able to trick them sometimes. And here's a Galvanic Relay for 7. Will we get another turn? Who knows? But the Galvanic Relay here sets us up for success because we have 4 mana to start next turn. And we can use the Lion's Eye Diamond like a Black Lotus because we don't have a hand. And we exiled 7 cards that would be a deterministic win, assuming we're not dead. Uh-oh. That's a Dark Ritual Doomsday. Alright, so we're probably dead here. I have to hope that their hand just doesn't kill me, which seems very unlikely. There's 1 Force of Will, 2 Force of Wills, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm dead. I don't see... Okay, there's 1 Edge of Autumn. I don't see a Lion's Eye Diamond, so that's probably the card that kills us. They play Lotus Petal, now they can Brainstorm. Yep. Unfortunate. So I guess if I would have just shoved into a Beseech Dimir, we would have won, but it's just so reckless. Now they consider. That's a Thassa's Oracle. Okay. We will bring in the Spider-Punks. We'll shave 1 Galvanic Relay and 1 Mox Opal. I like all 4 gambles versus the Cephalid Breakfast style decks, the ones that are just combo decks that win with Thassa's Oracle, because we want Runehorn Hellkite. We want access to that, so I don't think boarding out Gamble is the way to do it. Game number 2, we're on the play. I don't think so. Is this really a keep? It seems kind of bad to me. You know what? If they turn to me twice, they've got it. We'll bottom the Tendrils of Agony. You might be saying, why bottom that card? If they Doomsday Pass, you could kill them. That's technically true, but you would need cards that create Storm to do that. We don't have those. We have a bunch of lands. So instead, I'm going to just try to pass the turn here and Surveil. And maybe we can set up like a gamble for Echo of Aeons by emptying our hand naturally, or we could get lucky and spike a Lion's Eye Diamond. They play Polluted Delta. And if they have like a turn 1 Thoughtseize, I can Veil of Summer, and by playing out the Lotus Petal, I can pay for a Daze. They Ponder, and they shuffled off the Ponder. They cycle Street Wraith. Sort of an aggressive cycle there. I wonder why, like, maybe you did this because you have Flusterstorm. I just don't understand why you would burn the Street Wraith like that. I would have to see their hand, I suppose. Beseech the Mirror. Not a card we're interested in. I don't have Dark Ritual. Like, our Bargainable's Lotus Petal is just not great. Burning Wish. Burning Wish is interesting because it grabs Echo, but we're pretty far away from... I guess I could just, like, play my land, Burning Wish for Echo. You don't get to protect with Veil of Summer versus, like, a Thoughtseize. And pay for Daze, I should say. Like, everything in my head I'm calculating with, like, if they, you know, Flusterstorm here, and... or they Thoughtseize on their turn and I Veil of Summer, I get blown out by Daze. They Force of Negation, exiling Brainstorm. I guess we'll Veil of Summer? They have 3 cards in their hand. We draw another Burning Wish. Not a great draw. Burning Wish resolves. We'll go grab Echo of Aeons. And we'll pass the turn. So they could go land Doomsday here, and then just put a bunch of forces in their pile. But they don't. They Ponder. They shuffled on the Ponder. 4 cards. Lion's Eye Diamond. They cycle a Street Wraith. They're at 15. Maybe they have Dark Ritual and they're digging for Doomsday. That's why they're cycling Street Wraith like this. And now they Personal Tutor. So Doomsday's their top card. I think we should just Burning Wish for Thoughtseize. We'll grab Badlands. Burning Wish. Yes. We'll grab the Thoughtseize. Cast it. They Daze. Okay. So if their last card in hand is Dark Ritual, they can go Underground Sea, Dark Ritual, Doomsday with no hand. And if that's the case, I believe if our gamble wins, we kill them with Echo of Aeons. Okay. That is the Doomsday. We just have to not lose our gamble. Our gamble is going to be a 75% chance to win the game. Or if I draw any black land, I can just Beseech the Mirror for Lion's Eye Diamond, and then that would win. It looks like our opponent's playing 2 Force of Negations, unless they put some in their pile. We drew Diamond. We drew the card that I was planning on tutoring for. So now we have 3 blue, and make them draw 7. Sweet. Alright, so game number 3. The old Echo of Aeons win. Love it. Okay, let's submit this and hope we get the final game of the league. Game number 3, we're on the draw. This is a turn 1 Song of Creation. I don't think this hand is amazing, but I do think mulliganing a lot versus the 6 to 7 Force deck that has Daze and Thoughtseize is not going to be beneficial. So we're going to keep this hand. I don't expect Song of Creation to resolve. And then hopefully we draw a card that allows a wave 2. They play Ponder, Echo of Aeons. That's not bad. So if we want to play around Daze, we should just play Commercial District this turn, which is what I think I'm going to do. Because they didn't shuffle on the Ponder, which says, hey, I have like another thing. The Opal would allow me to trigger the song. I think we keep it. Like, I'm not super excited about another Mox Opal, but it's something. And now they Brainstorm. I could hope that, like, a possible way for us to win this is if, like, their interaction in hand is, like, Daze Flusterstorm. Or they have the Thoughtseize here. Because Song of Creation doesn't care about Flusterstorm. But the fact that they tapped out 2 turns in a row, which means they probably have a Force. They take the Song of Creation, surprise, surprise. They have 5 cards in their hand. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire. Let's fetch. Grab Underground Sea. We'll play Lotus Petal. play the Chrome Mox. And I'm not going to imprint here, because if you imprint, you essentially lose to days. I don't want to do that. So we'll cast Dark Ritual, tap the Mox Opal for a blue, and now we'll play another. Tap this Mox Opal for a blue, tap the Commercial District, and now we'll pay 6 mana for Echo of Aeons. And they have Force of Will. And they did have Flusterstorm. Alright, so the upside of this play is that next turn I can cast the Echo of Aeons from the graveyard with Flashback, and I can still pay for days. They play Polluted Delta, 3 cards in hand. And now they fetch. This looks like a Doomsday. So if they're smart about this, and let's say they don't have interaction in hand, let's say that they just have like draw spells or something, they should put like 2 forces in their pile, because it's going to be very tough for me to win through double force. And now if I try to Flashback Echo, I would leave them with 1 card in their deck. So I'd pass the turn and they would draw the final card. So it's very difficult for me to win this game. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Force of Will, Force of Negation, Force of Will. So there's 1 unaccounted for Force of Will here. And if they have a Cycler in their hand, they can just cycle into the Force of Will. Thoughtseize. That is a luxury I don't think I have. Because I would have no mana floating after the Echo of Aeons. I don't think I'm allowed to play this. Alright, Flashback Echo. Storm 1. Interesting. So they have a Force of Will somewhere in their 7. We'll play Lotus Petal. That looked like an F6. That's not good. So I need to draw like... Yeah, I just don't have it. Like, I'm going to play the Veil here, but I would need them to Force of Will, and it seems like they don't have one for some reason. No, all 4 of them are in exile. So is the Force of Negation, or Force of Negation, I said it correctly. So all the forces are in exile. I needed to draw a payoff here, and I didn't. Okay. Unfortunate. Yeah, we'll pass the turn. A Runehorn Hellkite, another Echo, Gamble, Burning Wish, all would have done it. Instead, we drew both of our Beseech the Mirror targets. I guess I can cycle Veil of Summer here and try to spike a Runehorn Hellkite. That was not Runehorn Hellkite. How sick would it have been, though, if I did? Alright, so Thassa's Oracle is going to win the game. So if I had realized that was the line, let's see if it lets me go back. If I realized that the line was to cycle Veil of Summer, was it the next card? It's not going to let me. Okay, so I could have had 2 looks at Runehorn Hellkite instead. Oh well. So we went 3 and 2. I like the Thoughtseizes. They played well. I like Galvanic Relay. I did feel like I missed Brainstorm still. I wish there was a way to have everything. There's just not enough deck slots. Like, ultimately, that's the problem. Is I want Thoughtseize, I want Veil of Summer, I want Galvanic Relay, I want Brainstorm. I'm not willing to cut Gambles, Dark Rituals, Echoes, any of that stuff. So it just seems weird. Like, I'm dancing around it, and I feel like I'm pretty close to the ideal deck list. I just haven't quite solved it yet. If you have ideas, let me know. I'm sure somebody's going to be like, just cut Gamble. The Gamble is one of our best cards. It helps with consistency. I don't think that's the way. I'm not quite sure. But that's all I've got for today. So thank you to Matthew Story for the donation deck. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone for watching. I really do appreciate you. That's all I've got, so I'm going to quit rambling now and say goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. There's no better way to support our channel. If you're interested in elevating your combo game, visit theepicstorm.com/tutoring for details about our coaching sessions. Don't worry, there's more great combo content coming right up.